What a weekend we've just had on Trials Day. Loads to discuss going forward. Just to let you know now, we are nominal no bet on those four championship races: the Champion Hurdle, Champion Chase, the Stayers Hurdle, the Gold Cup, and the Ryanair itself. But there's only one place to start. Frankie's with us. Constitution Hill. What do you make of him, mate? And why is he trying to channel his inner Andy Power?
Yeah, I know. That last hurdle's almost caught him out twice, hasn't it? He wasn't completely straightforward when he won his champion hurdle. He was good. He was very impressive. I have seen enough to make my decision he's going to win the champion hurdle. I've seen enough. And I know that, look, what did he beat? And it might as well have been a bit of work at home. But when you see him do what he did and you start to remember how good he was when he beat Stateman in the champion hurdle, I think he is back to where he was, and it would take an incredibly good horse to be better than what he did when he won his champion hurdle. So for me, he is your winner. I've seen enough. I'm happy. He's happy. All roads to Cheltenham.
I was surprised, Joel, that Nico didn't just see what was under the bonnet and he just let him saunter. I was hoping we'd see a not go all out, but shake him up a little bit, let him stride clear.
I was hoping that as well because I backed Constitution Hill to win over 7 lengths, but I think the mistake at the end. Obviously, he wasn't going to mess about. And Michael Buckley, I reckon if Nico had fallen off there, he'd have been sacked. He would have been sacked from the ride. Fair play to Nico was like, jockey error, whatever. But Buckley looked raging, absolutely raging. And I thought the best bit about the entire race was that Harry Derham was celebrating like they've just won the Saudi Cup, the amount of money you got for coming second. So he was dead happy. If the girls ain't going to go, I'm still sticking with State Man in my double with Jerry Cologne for the Gold Cup. Both been back now because what's going to go in there, Constitution Hill should win it. There's nothing exciting about that as far as a bet goes, but unless you're playing, big style. But State Man in the first 3, Jerry Cologne for the Gold Cup first 3. I think that was printing money weeks ago.
I mean, I want to mention Amsterdam because until Willie Mullins said that, does he want to take Constitution Hill on as a 5-year-old and maybe Aintree could be the way he goes, I thought he was starting to become a player because, he sauntered around on Sunday, won easily as he was expected to at very short odds. But bearing in mind, brighter days ahead, Lottie, Mouth, Stateman, all expect to take each other on this weekend. Something's going to win, something's going to blot his copybook by getting beat. I thought he was going to be a contender, but obviously now Willie's comments kind of cooled that. But what did you make of him, Joel?
I thought he was good. I mean, the Irish have been on about this horse for a long, long time, and they're on at silly prices for the champion hurdle. But I think we just go straight back to Willie. I mean, if he tells you it's dark outside, you've got to double check sometimes about where he's placing his horses at Cheltenham. And if he's talking, he's lying when it comes to placing his horses. But he has said from day dot, State Man, number 1 horse, champion hurdle, end of. That's it. So I do actually believe him on this.
Frankie?
I think he looks like a really smart horse. Has anything been said about what his long-term prospects will be? Will he go over a fence? Has that been mentioned? I think he looks like he might be one that could step up in trip and be a proper staying type. I think he looks kind of tough and resilient in the way that he travels. He looks like a really nice horse in the making, but I would guess he goes to Aintree, and that is half mile rather than a 2 mile.
You look at the Stayers Hurdle this year. I'm just going through all of these horses. It's a bit of a shocker, isn't it? The Stayers Hurdle this year. It's a shocker.
All right, let's talk about Stayers Hurdle then. We're not going to know about on this as well now on Betfred.com, but more bubbles burst and reputation enhanced in the last few days, both with the Golmoy and then the Cleve Hurdle on Saturday. Rocky's Diamond won the Golmoy. He's into 16-1. Could he be a dark horse, Frankie?
I think he's probably better than his price. I don't think that that's done him justice. I'd say that 16s is actually fair when we're looking at it. And, there's Crambos and Gower Roads, Wall Park. That Ascot form looks terrible, doesn't it? With Crambo and Hidden Valley Lake being beaten. The 1-2 from Ascot. Blue King de Roe was also beaten. I prefer the kind of form line that fitted in a bit more with Gower Road and Lucky Place and those sorts of horses. So I'd bump Rocky's Diamond up a touch. Langerdan, who knows? The Wall Park also ran at Ascot. I suppose he did finish in front of Gower Road at one point, though. So they're all kind of merking in together, those horses, and I don't think any of them look like winners. I think you might as well give it to Tia Hoopu now, home by the Leo Runners Racing second, and then have Rocky's Diamond out the places completely. You shorten him.
Yeah, Joe, it's not been a great for those fancies. It just makes Tia Hoopu standing in his stable is shortening.
I mean, he's just there, just getting a cigar out again, isn't he? Fair play to him. And it'll just be a case of owned by the lead. How far are you behind? Look, Rocky's Diamond, nicely impressive, to be fair, but the Devil's Coachman, a 28-1, back in second, who went to Limerick last year instead of going to the festival. There is some form, though, with Bob Ollinger, isn't there, and owned by the lead? Was it third? 9.5, 10 lengths. That's the one that you'd look at, and I think that's why the horse is shortened. But it might have been another case of what did he beat at the weekend. Again, Langadan, you're looking at this and going, look, I'm looking outside now. There's no spring here just yet. I'm just waiting for those leaves to come on the trees and see if there's an application of money, and then I'll be having me a little tickle on that. But I think Tia Hoopu turns up, gets the job done, gets back on the horse box and goes back on the ferry.
Fair play to Sammy and Gower Road, but it wasn't the best Cleve hurdle, was it?
No.
The money was spot on for him, though, wasn't there?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, and look, he deserves his success, doesn't he? He's ran well at the track season so far.
He was a solid one. The other two are questions to answer, but are we bringing Lucky Place into this now? Yet to go 3 miles, but wasn't far behind Golden Ace last year, giving her a stone. Has beaten it out this year, and obviously has gone on and finished ahead of Gower Road in the Real Keel, stepping up. Is he a potential contender to trouble Tia Hoopu?
I'd give him a chance, yeah. Salva ran a decent race as well behind me in line at Windsor. Like I said, that sort of form line, I'd be happier following with those horses. Lucky Place, Salva won't go to the festival, rather than all of those that turned up at Ascot. I would give him an each-way squeak getting in the frame, but I think any of them have to step up, don't they, to get close to Tia Hoopu. A lot of them are they're almost not grade 1 horses. Maybe that's being too harsh, but they're consistent sorts, and they'll pick up grade 2s and the odd week grade 1 here. But when it comes to the business at the big festivals, I don't think many of them are that top level.
No, I 100% agree. Like Langadan could hack up by 40 lengths, or could be out the back, scratching his belly for the ulcers. I'm not really liking the winter ground because the leaves aren't on the trees yet. So we just have to wait and see. But I know you like a short price. Is it a banker? You're on the Constitution Hill now. Would you put Tia Hoopu in that 3 or 4 fold that is your banker for the week?
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Let's have a look. The Gold Cup will take a bigger change in the picture with the Irish Gold Cup this weekend with the DRF. But Laurent Presse, 14-1 for the Gold Cup, Norman and no bet. Made hard work of it, Joel.
Yeah, I think he did. I think on the TV, on both channels, he said it was easy or bit in hand or whatever. I think that was, wait for our usual Charlie Deutsch reference of how good he is. I thought the horse to take out the race was Stage Star in second. I don't think I've seen that horse jump as well as it did the entire way through. And I couldn't work out from the body language whether Harry thought he got it covered on Stage Start or there was nothing left, or, Nichols ones are, the flu job, whatever it was. So I was convinced Stage Star was gonna win that. And then, Charlie just pulled out a little bit more and I put my hands up in the air. I went for Gentleman's Game purely on price play and, just looked like an old plodder to me. But Stage Star not going to Cheltenham. Still in the Ryanettes, 66 or 80s or something like that, but won't go. But I'm not even sure Long Presse will go to Cheltenham. I think if I was the owner, I'd stop feeding him carrots and think about going to Aintree.
Okay. Were you taking with him, Frankie?
No, I was almost wincing a bit as he came up the hill with Stage Star, thinking, that's not the horse you'd want to be battling against if you are a Gold Cup prospect, is it? It looked harder than it should have been, in my opinion. I just don't think those two horses coming up the hill together screamed one of them is a Gold Cup winner. He's a genuine horse. He jumped really well. He likes Cheltenham. He's got a lot to like about him. Just might not be quite good enough.
Did you not think as well with the Venetia interview afterwards? I don't know if you saw this. It was a case of, so all roads lead to the Gold Cup now. Yep. We'll see you there. But not in like a hello definitely or it was more like yep, do one. One of those.
I guess they were thinking of trying to, place him to maybe win some more races as opposed to placing, coming second and third in King George Gold Cup. Well, are they going to try and pick up, winning things like the Cotswold Chase or other similar sort of races, maybe?
I keep coming back to it. Jerry Colombe, is it not the dirtiest each way? Can you get me Jerry Colombe out the first 3 or probably 4 on the day? Still at a double figure price.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Don't think it's a bad shout at all.
What about Gold Club in the future? Then the Brown Advisory at Dancing City 9-2. He sauntered around Nace on Sunday. Obviously, Willie Mullins, he's got this wrapped up, hasn't he?
It looks like it, doesn't it? He was good, and he is good. I mean, we know that from what he did over hurdles, and he's translated his Grade 1 staying hurdling form over defences. I liked the fact that he went forward and kind of did it the hard way, because if I was to see him beat, it would probably be by a horse with a bit more speed than him. I reckon he's like a proper stay. I'd say he'd have no trouble going up in trip. So I quite like the fact that he can be ridden forward and go and make it a test if he needs to be, because what I wouldn't probably want to see is them go around at a slow pace and then a horse like Ballyburn, just pick him up at the end. I think if he's going to win, he needs to make it a dogfight, and to see him go forward, jump well, was pretty positive, wasn't it?
Yep, Joel?
Yeah, I totally agree. Really enjoyed it. But I think a bit like the price play of the weekend, we put up Yellow Car at 16s in the morning. I think went off 10s and won. Probably should have lost it in the steward's room. But Dancing City at 4s yesterday, and Better Days Ahead of Gordon's at 16s yesterday. They won Martin Pipe last year. Was third to Dancing City and a high-class hero, and beat Slade Steel at Navan by 4 lengths. I mean, you couldn't see much because it was all that misty time. And ahead second to Croke Park as well. So again, for me, price plays on these. Don't think there's a lot between them, really. One, I don't know what prices you've got up there now, Matt, but one's like 3 times the price.
Yeah, so if we look for you.
Better Days Ahead. I haven't given up on him either after he was at Croke Park. I said, didn't I, after that I thought that maybe he could have won the race if he'd have had a little bit extra room up the rail. I haven't given up.
No, I haven't. There'll be excuses there as well. And in that Croke Park race previous to that, when I put up Gorgeous Tom, I think he's still in the market at like 33s or something. And another stride, he would have won that race. But I've come down on Better Days Ahead, not Brighter Days Ahead. There's 2 Lossy Mouths, there's 2 of these that sound the same. And I thought a double figure price, 3 times the price of Dancing City. You can afford to go each way on that at a decent price.
16-1, Better Days Ahead.
So what I've got, 16-1. Come on.
Right. I know we're all going to agree on this. I'm sure we are. East India Duck. Frankie, I was impressed again. Should he be favourite?
They should be closer, shouldn't they? They should be closer in the market. I mean, East India Duck has done it at the track impressively. If he was in different silks and a different train and jockey combo, then you may well argue that he would be favourite. It was very good. He jumps well. He goes and does his thing. He's the right contender to be at the top of the market, isn't he? And everyone says, "Oh, what did he beat?" Well, half decent horses. And what's Lulamber beat? What did Palladadium beat? What's anyone beat at this stage? We don't know much about these juveniles, and you have to make an assessment on how they look. And the fact that he has been getting good practice in around Cheltenham only strengthens his claims. I thought it was a good performance.
Yeah, I'm going to play this week. Shame I'm not on the 8s or 10-1s or even 6s, 13s, 2 last week, but 3-1, 7-2. I don't think that horse will be that price on the day. If you are a form student and you forget all the hype and the drama from the Nichols stable and any whispers or anything like that, you look at those performances or the performances of East India Dock, been there, done it. If I'm pricing that race up, I'm pricing East India Dock up as favourite. I mean, yes or no? I mean, 3-1. There's still a bit 7-2 around. I think it's still a play. It's still a play, and you don't mind. You don't mind getting beaten by a hype horse. Remember Gaelic Warrior first time out, and I never bought into this horse. We've never seen it run over here, and then gets done gets done on the line. But I'd had a good day and I was at Cheltenham and I was like, oh, all right, believe the hype. This horse, East India Dock, has gone and done it and looks good. Looks really, really good. And, I may have mentioned it earlier on or privately to you, Matt. I thought Stencil back in second. What a beautiful jumper of a horse, of a fence even. What a beautiful fence jumper, or even hurdle. I really, really liked Stencil this weekend, but East India Dock is a play for me.
You said next year's Arco winner, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I said. I've no idea what I said. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning.
Go on then. This will be fun. What do you make of Palladium's debut?
Satisfactory. What we can't learn loads from it, can we? We'll see him again before the festival, I think they said, didn't they? Or before he goes on to other things. But
yeah,
entry maybe. Satisfactory.
Yeah, it was fine. Is he the one with it still got the meat and two veg?
Yeah, he hasn't he?
Yeah. So I'm sure he heard, Endo talking about, that it's predominantly a flat campaign. And I was like,
he said Royal Ascot was the hardworking Royal Ascot was the target, didn't he?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it was nice, but what he paid 1.2 mil or something, German Derby winner. Don't know what he's doing here. He can go on that flat stuff.
Right, let's have a quick look at the Turners Novice because that got a shake up at Cheltenham on the last race in the Novice Hurdle. 6Milebridge threw his hat into the ring and kind of blew up my anti-post portfolio already with Potter's Charm sunk in second.
You've not said a lot today, Matt. So this is the one, and we talked you into backing it in the dirty double at the weekend. I don't know if the millions were down, but this is your horse, your first anti-post pick. You left it a week too late, otherwise you'd have got the value. You're in there too. What did you think?
I was surprised to see him in the entries. Well, we do moan about horses not running a lot, so the fact he was running is probably a sporting thing. But yeah, he's been kept busy. He was a Group 1 winner, Grade 1 winner, and I don't know. There just never felt like he was going to be. That was his day. I mean, all the other favourites had won as well, so there's a lot of probability of thinking, well, can they all go in? And to be fair, he's beaten Bill Joyce. What did he beat him? 3.5 lengths, I think, and the New Lion beat him similarly at Newbury, obviously very easy start. But has he run his race? Is 6Milebridge just? I think the way Sam rode the race, he was looking to give him quite an easy time of it, but the way he finished the last 50 yards, he was absolutely legless. He's had quite a hard race there. And his 6Milebridge, he was highly touted as a bumper horse. Is he just a lot better? Is he all of a sudden overpriced?
Yeah, no, it could be half decent, and he's beaten Bill Joyce by a long way. So if you compare what, that's the same sort of run against what New Lion did, it could be a nice horse. I was disappointed with Potter's Charm, and you don't really like to see it.
As I was.
You don't really like to see a horse kind of finish tired like that, that's had a bit of a busier season than maybe we might expect en route to the festival, do you? It doesn't fill you with hope for Cheltenham. But mixed comments from the team afterwards saying that he wasn't quite 100% and this was a bonus because they thought that they could pick up some easy prize money. So you never know. Having prime for the festival, he may run better. But he probably deserves his drift in the market, doesn't he?
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, he does. The way he finished absolutely legless. So we're going to talk the Mayor's Novice Hurdle because we saw Aurora Vega win the other day very impressively. She's 12-1. And I know you just got back, Frankie, you want to see, but Maureen has just won on her hurdles debut as well. Very impressive. She's a 5-2 favourite. So obviously Aurora Vega, she's looking to uphold family honour. Obviously, Mum was a 6-time festival winner.
Yeah, but I don't know why there hasn't been a little bit more chat about her. Maybe because she's raced more times than you'd like for a hype horse. Maureen at the top of the market. This was only her second start today. So the dream remains more alive than Aurora Vega, who had been pulled up and had been beaten. And I think she did win one bumper, but didn't exactly dominate in all of them. So she's raced probably more times than you'd like to see from a potential superstar. We might know her level a little bit more than some of the others that are unexposed. And I think that there's got to be one in here at least that is probably a bit better than her. I thought the performance of 6.5 last time that Gavin Cromwell James was really nice. I still couldn't have either of Paul Nichols's, I don't think. But nice performances. I didn't actually see Maureen. I only saw the end of the race and knew that she won well. But bar that, couldn't tell you much else. I saw that Ruby Walsh apparently wasn't the keenest on her.
Okay, I was just talking about Aurora Vega and Maureen here. Joe said Maureen, that's 2 wins now. She finishes 8th at Cheltenham, so she's got form figures of 118.
And then followed by a 2-1-2.
Yeah.
That's the level we've got to.
Sounds like Facile Vega's career, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, the only times I back to her, right. I'm on my phone now because my battery's run out because we're waiting for Frankie to come back from Miami.
Slight dig. All right, then. We'll wrap up then. Frankie, we're waiting for him next week as well, no doubt, to get back from Dublin.
Good, isn't it? And that informs my anti-post selection because some markets are going to figure themselves out this weekend. So I think you've got to have a crack I'm going to have a crack at one of the novice hurdlers.
Go on then, take it away.
To no surprise, Romeo Coolio in the Supreme. I'm hoping that a Willie Mullins superstar isn't birthed at the DRF. It may well be, but I feel like you've got to take your chance. It can go the wrong way like yours did this weekend, Matt, but if you get it right, it's nice to be sat on one that has confirmed his standings. And I just don't think Romeo Coolio has been given the justice he deserves yet. So we'll find out after the weekend, but I am on for the Supreme.
Joel?
You know I love a good French one, and I was mightily impressed at the weekend. Stencil for the Fred Winter.
Okay, I'll have Milantino last year.
Yes, I was going to say, had a crack, didn't they, last year? Didn't work out, but...
I was between 2, but will he be bigger on the day? I doubt it. I think he's still overpriced. He's short, but I think he's still overpriced. East India Dock. Been there, done it twice. The way he quickened up from Stencil as well. He looked a threat. And there was good horses in behind. Quantuck Hills, couldn't live with them. There's some nice horses in behind. And he's just the way he's quick and clear again. Surely East India Dock goes off favourite. I think 3-1 is worth taking now. We're not going to see him again. Others may block the copybot this week. He'll do for me, East India Dock. Right, boys. It's going to be a busy one next week. Dublin Racing Festival, Sandown, Musselburgh, all to discuss. Join us Friday for the Punter's Guide before Frankie jets off to take in the Dublin Racing Festival. Looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll see you Friday for the Punter's Guide. And then next week we'll dissect it all on our 11th episode of the Road to Cheltenham. And it'll be just 5 weeks to the greatest show on turf.